Great moment to be on your screen again and to bring to you good tidings on Ladies Rendezvous. This is the program that talks about what is obtainable in the society and how well we should behave in every corner of our endeavor. My name is Tonto Dikeh. I want to welcome you to the last edition of Ladies Rendezvous for the month of January 2026. The year is going. The program will be handled by me and my friends on the set here. Lovelet is here. Good morning, Lovelet. Good morning.
Good morning, Taisi. Good morning.
Good to have you ladies here. How are you doing?
Happy last day of the Monday of the month. We are generally living this month to February.
Yeah. By next Monday, next week.
February.
And by February, we'll start to be 50. Really? Yes, sir. Yes, very much.
It's almost inside menopause. It's not menopause already.
So, where are you taking it?
No, like, if August State was a woman at 50, definitely she stopped giving birth. But she's not. I don't know, but I mean, literally,
it's a conditional statement. August State is both male
and female.
So let's look at August State at this moment as a male.
So you have for us on that within that period.
Don't worry, just watch OGTV back to back. We have programs for you.
We should do a special edition on the 2nd, which is a Monday.
We'll do that.
Definitely.
Thank you, ladies, for joining us. Now we'll go for this short break, and we'll come back. It will be time for us to delve into the fourth segment of the program, which is Around the World. On this segment, we'll be talking about something that is crucial, something that we need in our day-to-day dealings, and also look at how we can fit in when it comes to this kind of a thing. Now, the first story we'll be handling is about a popular actress who came out yesterday to say that she has forgiven her ex-husband and they are in good terms because of our children, or of our child, a boy. And don't forget that for about 10 years, Tonto Dikeh and the husband, Churchill, has been on each other's throats and also always causing social media fights. We hear that they go physical sometimes and they give it to themselves back to back. And after 10 years, the boy, the child in between them, according to what Tonto said, broke her peace. And the peace actually came from that offspring. That is what we've been preaching on the program. Whatever you fight, whenever you fight, just look at the child in between, or the children in between. What will you do when the child says it is okay? So for Tonto Dikeh and Churchill, it is something about forgiveness, movement, and also looking at the future for themselves and for the child. Let's hear our testimony.
God, I want the embassy to use my passport. And that's where the story comes from. So you see, I have always told my son that his passport was his own embassy. I've never told him the whole truth, or I've never even told him the truth at all. And the truth was that the passport was with his father. And I and his father have been in a 10-year long toxic marriage battle. And it's public, I don't know who's here, who doesn't know about that battle. It is worldwide. It's a little bit. So yes, I sat him down and I told him, okay, when you told me, I'm sorry, and I just cried and I said, oh God, well, I didn't think much about it. Church, exactly 2 days later, of the 21 days prayer, fasting and prayer, and he was a week of early answer. 2 days later, his father reached out to me and said, I want to give you every document this boy needs, every document that you left with me. And for some reason, the Holy Spirit just told me, no, be serious, believe me. And I just sit here and I believe him. And he asked a series of questions, and that question led me to know that it was time for me to talk to my son about who his father was. And the truth is, I told him before, knew you is God. And I've never spoken a word, whether it was a bad word, whether it was a good word, about my son father to him. I have never spoken about a man or nothing. In fact, he doesn't even know anything. So I sat him down one day and I told him, I said, have you ever wondered where your dad is? He said, yes, I have. I've just never asked you because I don't know. I just feel like no one to talk about it. And I said, oh, okay. And I sat him down and I said, okay, I'm very sorry for what I'm going to say. I really want you to listen to this. He said, Mommy, say, talk, you just get to see me. He was speaking actually, very nonchalant. He was speaking and I said, talk. And I was almost breaking down, but I knew I had to put it together with my child. So I told him the question. I said, a man and a woman met themselves, they gave birth to you, and they became one. And he was like, I was like, really? I said, yeah. I said, you were so bitter, we were toxic, and in the middle of all of this thing that affected you, I'm sorry. And he looked at me and said, so have you forgiven me? I didn't answer. He said, Mommy, because it's very authoritative. He talked to me like a mother. He said, Mommy, have you forgiven me? And I looked up on my son, and my son said, if you didn't forgive me, I have forgiven you. I have forgiven you, but I'm upset with you for not telling me. But it's okay, I can understand better now.
All right, that was a cheering news there from Tonto Dikeh, the almighty Tonto Dikeh, our screen goddess, and she did a lot with herself. When we talk about forgiveness,
yeah,
she tried.
Yeah,
because I think it's not too easy for someone who has hated a person to that degree, because the degree of the hatred between them was felt by everybody.
It was brutal. And you know, I said I never saw it coming, because if you look at the way their separation, their divorce, everything, went, it was very messy. Like, Tonto was all out. She was not holding anything back. If you call her and say, please find a way to settle this thing, she will come back for you. She'll come and tell you the reason why it cannot be settled. If the husband calls her and says one thing, she's going to come
or mention
exactly somewhere. Or the school, maybe somebody does anything to single mother shame her. It was very messy. I remember that episode of her dressing like a man to her sons.
And she called herself King Tonto.
So it was very, very dramatic. And this for me just shows that as human beings, when we allow love, when we allow peace in our mind, in our heart, regardless of the situation, regardless of how bad it seems, regardless of how irredeemable it looks like, we eventually can find rest, we can find peace, and then we can move on with our lives. This is very good, especially for the boy, the father and the mother. They can co-parent in peace. Yeah, maybe no long history any longer, but I mean, they can sit down eye to eye. She no longer needs to dress like a man to the boys. Exactly. So it's a whole lot for men. I say congratulations to her. I pray that her salvation is permanent and she continues to live peacefully among men.
Okay, Levet, what did you say? Because talking about forgiveness, according to what Tonto said, I can deduce that the forgiveness actually came from her heart. The time she was doing the online thing, she wasn't ready for the forgiveness. And everybody talking to her were just talking. They were not communicating to her. They were not meeting her at the point that she needed to be met. And now that she receiving Christ and following the dictates and also giving the child back to the father wholeheartedly, according to the testimony she gave, the father reached out to her first. To say, I have a document of my boy, please come and collect them because he will be needing it at this age. How do you see that?
Definitely. I always say this. Forgiveness is something we owe ourselves. When two people are fighting, probably you put the person under and you're on top of that person and you fight him. It's like you not forgiving, you holding person down, you are not standing up, you are not moving, you are stagnated. I also want to thank God because I remember the word of God that says the word of God is like two-edged sword. Tonto Dikeh said something, and when I cast my mind back to those days when she was out to get churchy, she was out to get anybody that say things about her.
She was ready.
I remember she said, I build bridges and I burn those bridges, and that is who she is. But today she has come out to embrace forgiveness. And that is to show us that as humans, there is that tendency for people to step on our toes. But we must always have the room to forgive. Now she has peace. She gave her life some months last year to Jesus Christ, and I believed that along the line, the Bible says, walk out your salvation with fear and trembling, and that is what is happening to her. And this is a very good point of her, because she mentioned that a sitting president came to her,
Ex-president,
and another president, an ex-president, but she said no. But now God has done it. She has reached out. Of course, they can co-parent peacefully, and that boy, we have a balanced upbringing. Because when it is only a parent and training up a child, it's never going to be as if both parents are, except the other parent is slaves. But if the parent is alive, both parents are alive, let them co-parent and take care of their child. So we don't have issues that will definitely affect that child, like we normally say when two elephants fight.
The grass are so far.
Okay, let's look at it from the angle of those who will have followed Tonto Dikeh's
footsteps, yes.
Back then, right?
Back then, of fighting their partners. She said it in that testimony that they should go back and make peace.
And so this is me saying that social media is a very powerful tool. And so when people call themselves influencers, the real influencers, sometimes those even attach influencers to their name. They just go about their business on social media and people emulate, people copy, people want to be like this person, people see this person as a role model. And so one needs to be very careful. And I like the fact that, see, going back on your word, it's okay when you don't know something and then you act one way. But once you are seeing the truth, you are seeing the light, it's okay to also come back and tell your fans, your followers on that same platform that, please, yes, I've made this as a mistake. I've retraced my steps. If this is who you are before now, retrace your steps too. So it makes you human. It shows that you are not a god or a goddess that is infallible. And so I feel like she's going to be better loved by her followers. Yes, there might be some regrets here and there, because trust me, some people would have told that line that they cannot get back.
And for the comments, people really loved what happened.
So people said more love. She's going to be embraced. She's going to be embraced.
But I wanted to chip in this, Charity, that for an influencer to influence you, that means you have not found purpose. For me to be influenced by you, Charity, that means I have not found my own purpose. So everybody should find their purpose of who you are. So that you are not Tonto. You are not Tonto Dikeh.
So you are not married to church.
So if people, graces are different.
They are different.
Exactly.
Don't follow people's footsteps.
How many of these ladies will have the kind of grace Tonto Dikeh is having now? How many?
Some people will have died anyway.
Exactly.
With the kind of...
Some people would have, your Bible says, like from frying pan, jump inside fire. So.
All right, we wish Tonto Dikeh, Churchill, and the child a very peaceful life together.
Amen.
And we pray that anybody that finds themselves in such situations should please make peace with whoever they're fighting, so that the future of their children or future of whatever is involved
can be
perfected and secured. Thank you, Tonto. We want to thank you on the program too for doing that. So now let's move on to the second video, and it's talking about another actress who came out on a program to say that she is ready for marriage, but she gave in some conditions for that man. Let's listen.
how can I be a better human being? Because when I'm a better person, I'm a better citizen. And I'm able to serve my country better. I'm able to be a better child to my father and my siblings. I'm able to be a better partner to my future husband. I'm able to be a better friend.
Is there any future husband in the pipeline?
There should be. There should be. Even if he's not manifested, or even if he's manifested, but even if he's not manifested, there should be. I'm of age. I'm
but even your countenance looks like you're in control of what's going on around. That you're powerful. I love it. So,
thank you.
And not only that, and that's very attractive. Because there's no man that sees that. So you know what? That's the kind of woman I want next to me.
Yeah. So people can want, but like I have to choose what I set away.
So what kind of good men are we looking for? Just in case.
First, kindness. I find kindness as one of the most attractive traits in any human being. And before you can be my friend or even related to me, not to talk of married to me, you have to be kind. And I don't mean performative. I mean really, truly embody kindness. Everything else can be worked on.
Oh, nice. I love it. You heard it here first. Kind man. We love it. Thank you so much, Nancy, for coming. Just wanted you.
Okay, then there was Nancy Isime on Moraya's show talking about our readiness for marriage. She said she's of age.
Definitely.
34.
At 34.
At 34,
she's more than of age.
She's ready. And what caught her attention is the comments of Nigerians.
Definitely.
Because I don't know why Nigerians are quick to judge. They are quick to make derogatory comments.
Make it their business.
Make it their business.
And make comments.
Someone said she's ready at 34. She wasn't ready then.
Definitely.
Now, from emotionally, she's stable now to go into marriage. And we are still castigating her. I don't know.
You see, sometimes what I think is, when we see our celebrities, we think of them as demigods. You know, people whose life should be
perfect.
ABC, 1, 2, 3. It should just be simple as that. It shouldn't have any flaws or blemishes anywhere. And so when they exhibit that character that they are human and they are capable of, you know, sliding, holding back, doing all sort of things that human does, we tend to come for them. Now, this is not just peculiar to Nigerians, really. We've seen trolls everywhere. People who will even troll you for the kind of handkerchief you use as a celebrity, you know. So it's that bad. But what I'll just say is
that it pushes them to do things that they do.
What I'll just say is that as human beings, I think we should begin to see ourselves as human beings and be kind towards each other. If she's not ready at those times, I don't think anybody should fault her. Marriage is not a child's play. Let's not deceive ourselves. You know, we've had celebrities who got married even in their 40s and who are divorced. You know, so if she's not ready at that particular time, I think she should be cut some slack, because, I mean, it's not like going into the university. You know, it's not like going into secondary school where you have a timeline that, at this age, you know, you say the 633 system, and then you say when a child is 11, 12, they should be in secondary school. It's not like that for marriage, you know. So we should just let them be. These are human beings, and learn to respect that boundaries. However, trolls will still exist too. There will still be trolls. So it just brings me to those celebrities to surround themselves with positive people, because people will always come for you.
Definitely.
People will, if you like, drink water. If you like, don't drink water. People will come for you. But when you surround yourself with positive people, when you have mental health is very, very important. You know, having checkups, being around people who would motivate you, who would inspire you, who would lift you up in terms of when you're down, also helps you be a better, a refined person. And it helps you rise above trolls, you know. But because you are there, they will troll. Even me, when on the social media, they see the troll. So how much more?
So, Robert, how do you take this news of our readiness?
Yeah, she's a young, one of the celebrities I really admired her, you know, her courage and her hardworking spirit.
Very hardworking.
She has less scandal. Not that she doesn't have scandals. She has less following her. But one thing I looked at from the show she attended is she said something that caught my attention. yes, she's ready to settle down, but she gave one quality which I want to look at. She said she wants a man that embodies kindness, a man that is kind. But I look at it, if you have a man that is kind, and that, she said every other thing is settled. If she just see a man that is
can
kind,
be worked on.
Can be worked on. Definitely is a very good one. But also look at it in the other side. What if the man is not rich? Will she still go for a kind man?
That's why she said
everybody can be worked on.
Then let's look at Isime, her life at 34. I was fortunate to read one of the comments that says that a young lady is young from 24 to 27. That anything above is unmarried.
That's society. That's stereotype.
I want to say something. You mentioned, surrounding yourself with positive people is not enough. You yourself should see beyond trust, see beyond words. Words are cheap. They will destroy. But once you have built yourself enough that no words can deter you, you move. People are bound to trust.
All right, thank you, ladies, for talking to Nancy there, and we pray that she will get
go get the kind man.
It's like a man, and these days, men want successful ladies.
So all they need to be doing to be in this case is to be a kind man.
Kind. And now the third one is a sad story, but we want to draw up a lesson from that story. Sometimes about 2 weeks now, we hear that a Destiny boy died, and he was to be buried, but they had to hold on to do an autopsy on him before he was buried. Actually, he was buried last Friday at Ayeto. I missed tears at Ayeto because he was a very, very young boy, a popular man who was putting his life together. Though he started very young, and that is what we want to look at. How best can parents, or at what age should parents allow their talented child or children to leave their vicinity? How can they be monitored? We think that Destiny Boy was not too monitored, and he fell into some vices that could have brought in his early death. That is our opinion anyway, and we want to talk about what parents should do when they have talented children in their purview. So, Tobisin.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I would just say that it's one thing for a child to be talented. It's another thing for the parents to rise up to their responsibility of ensuring that talent is intact and that talent becomes fruitful on the long run. Like we've established even before coming on air, that his parents, did him a lot of disservice. They did him a lot of disservice. Their separation as a couple also did not help matters. He ensured that he was really out very young with no monitoring. You go to other countries where you have young children, having this kind of talent. Their parents invest in managers. So somebody who is in that profession, who can guide. Their parents invest in psychological therapy for such a child to ensure that the child, does not sway from what it used to be. And I'll give you another example of someone we know very well here in Nigeria, Wizkid's son. I remember that
the mother is the manager now.
Exactly. And you won't blame her for always wanting to protect her son, despite the fact that people say, oh, your son is talented, let him be with his father.
The mother is still the manager.
The mother is still the manager because, she still feels like this is my future. This is, as an African mother, this is my own future, and I have to monitor it with everything that I have got. And it's paying for her because, her son is earning in dollars. And of course, she'll be enjoying the fruit of her labor. So I feel like Destiny Boy is gone now, but it should be a lesson to every other parent. If you have a boy that knows how to play football, don't just leave him out there and say, let your talent bring money so that we can eat, so that we can, do your own duty as a parent. Let that child go to school, let that child have proper monitoring, let that child be mentored. Because the truth of the matter is these children are exposed to quite a lot of things.
Okay.
Even the ones that don't have talent, which I don't think any child does not have talent, you know. But I mean, exactly. So they are exposed to a lot of things that can endanger them. And, you know, we need to do better as parents.
Love it.
I want to look at this from the angle of the parents. And yeah, the boy comes from a broken home. But I always say this to parents that I meet every day, that as a mother, if your marriage did not work, please pick your kids. You know, take them with you. Don't come to the point of debating on who will take that child, especially if the child is still a minor and if the child is still small. Pick them where you are going. Now, Destiny boy is gone. Who lost? It's not the parents. It's the mother, it's the father that, you know, that they lost, you know, they are lost at this particular point. But I'm also looking at the particular point of African mothers, like you rightly said, Tommy saying, they are out to what they will get from the talents of their kids, but not to get to the point of mentoring them, to get to the point of probably get to school, acquire the basic things they need that will push them to new life. I've seen cases like this, not one, not two, where the children were pushed to the new life at a young age and they couldn't manage the thing. So it's a great loss to Nigeria, not even to the parents, but a great loss to Nigeria. And parents out there, please let them manage their children, no matter what happens.
Okay, and we wish the family I don't know what to say. The loss is a very bad one.
Exactly.
I've been following him, especially the cover.
Yes,
the covers of Davido's song made him so popular. He became so popular at that point.
Fuji vibe. And I hear that.
And his voice was so unique.
Exactly.
And he's married with a kid.
Yeah, married. He got married last year, 2025.
2024, yes.
2024, and had his son 2025.
He's a piece of Mobad case of
almost and we want our young talent to grow old and be known for their craft, even in their old age. So we pray that the family will find peace. The mother and the father now are fighting online.
That is where I think that they need to be more responsible. I mean, to the memory of their lost son, because I don't understand the quarrel or the because
about the property. The guy has
what kind of property do you even fight? Barely how many weeks your son has just gone cold? Like what kind of property do you fight?
How long we need to live, and we hope that the lessons should have been gotten from that.
Definitely.
Let's go for this break. When we come back, it will be time for us to have the issue of the day. All right, this is the usual segment of the Ladies Rendezvous. We want to look at issues that borders on children. I want to talk about confidence. How do you raise children in this time and era, and also build their confidence as they go into the world, as they mix up with other people, and talk about things that bothers them too, because they need to be outspoken when they are in the world too. So we have a guest in the house who will be doing justice to this and telling us what we need to know about raising confident children in a competitive world. She is Olori Amina Matemilola. She is a woman, and she is a women and youth advocate. We'll read a little bit of her biography.
Thank you, Charity. Olori Amina Adeleye is the wife of Oba Professor Saka Adelola. Olori holds a degree in law. She's a public relations practitioner with professional certification from the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. She's also a professional mediator from the Center of Dispute Resolution in UK. She has published over 12 literature books for children. Her books are also in Braille language for the visually impaired. She authored her latest books, Summer's Magical Christmas, Johnny's, an adaptation of one of her books titled 20 Years Magical Christmas.
Okay.
And she has taught in regular schools and schools for persons living with disability. You're welcome, Mom.
You're welcome, Mom.
You're welcome, Mom.
You're welcome to the program. Now let's talk about our children, because that is one area of view that a lot of people do not really know, that you deal with children and you write books on them. Raising confident children, how easy is it? Especially when it comes to inquisitive ones, the ones that we call too smart these days, or we call them in Yoruba language, tell them Otibeju. So, how do we deal with them?
Well, first of all, raising children in the fast-paced world that we are right now, first of all, parents, you know, there are some parents who are not of this generation, so it becomes really, they struggle, you know, with trying to raise children in this setting. But there are different ways. Once you're able to let the children know who they are, who you are, to know who you are is very important. It's important because it will, if you like, reset your mind to, you know, how you actually face on life, how you, you know, begin to adapt to the environment as you grow up. And so allowing the children to express themselves, you know, praising the process, not looking at the result, but the process really is one thing that you should really, as a parent, you should do. And, you know, I talked about allowing children express themselves. I'd like to just say a very short story.
Okay.
About 4 days ago, I met a young boy who had come, you know, he actually, I do a lot with visually impaired. So he had guided one of the visually impaired that had come to see me. And this young man, I was just curious because I thought, well, it's a Wednesday morning, should be in school, should be somewhere anyway, you know. And so I asked him, I said, what do you do? So he said, oh, he's studying. So I said, okay, where? What first? And so he said mechanical engineering. I said, oh, wow, that's nice, you know. So where, you know, just wanted to know, just being curious. And then the person he had come with said, oh, it's at a workshop that he's doing. Now, at that point in time, it threw me off balance a bit because, first of all, it is mechanical engineering he's actually studying because it's in the mechanic workshop and that's what he's doing, truly. But at the same time, that's not what it's called, you know, because when you can't tell me because you understudying a lawyer and then then you say that you are studying law or that you're a lawyer, you know, eventually. So there are processes to get to that, and that's the confidence building. So wherever he's gone, you know there's dignity in labor. So wherever he's gone to, yes, it is true that he's taking training in that, but he's an apprentice, right? It's a workshop, so he is an apprentice. So we should be able to teach our children to be confident and to embrace whoever they are. Who are you? It's just an important thing for everybody to, you understand? And it's difficult, I know. It's kind of difficult. Everybody wants to, you know, go with the Joneses, but the truth is, be who you are, and we should be able to let
embrace your identity.
Yes, embrace your identity. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, before I got my degree, I was a lot of things. You understand? And I definitely used to tell a lot of people that I was this, I was that. I mean, I also worked in oil and gas, and I started out as a management secretary, right? Before I became head of corporate affairs, head of community relations. There's absolutely nothing wrong with starting small or being who you are. So at that time, I didn't want to tell him, no, you can't say that you're studying mechanical engineering because that's what you do in, I didn't want to say, because I didn't want to break his confidence level, because the way he told me, he was very confident about it. He was very happy about it. I didn't want to break that at all. So I told him, oh, good thing, you know. So I said, how long have you been? He said, about 6-7 months. I said, I hope you're really, you know, trying and making sure that, he said he's doing it. So I allowed it at that point. But it is my plan to still call him back, to tell him that, look, this is how it should be. If your parents are not telling you, or the owner of the workshop is not telling you, let me let you know. And I'll break it down to him, so that he can still maintain that confidence, you understand, and do what he wants to do. Yes, you know, and that's what we're lacking, really.
Okay, so I like the fact that you said in a fast-paced society like ours, and it's very difficult. I mean, if you're a parent of the millennia, beyond millennia, trying to deal with the Gen Z and this alpha generation, so sometimes they give you some responses and you're shocked, you know. In fact, I feel like when I saw this topic, I said, these children sometimes are already confident. So if we're going to be instilling confidence again, wouldn't they be overconfident, you know? So because they give you some kind of responses that ordinarily you wouldn't expect from a 3-year-old, from a 4-year-old. So what are you to do as a parent? How do we start to even making them realize who they are? And, you know, because they're already very expressive. They come home, they say things that you as a parent, you can't even fathom. You can't ask their teachers because you are wondering, where is this coming from? So how do you draw the line? Where is the balance for you as a parent?
Well, you know, having a balance is facing like reality. That's it. Having a balance is facing reality. Once you're able to let your children understand that if we can bring in the element of making mistakes at this point, you understand that if you make a mistake, it's all right to make a mistake. If you make a mistake, all you need to do is get up. Don't dwell on the mistake, on the past. You get up and move forward. In today's society, we see that overconfidence in children. It is not to step them down, but to channel it positively as well, so that you're not losing that confidence that they already have. But again, there's still some children who still lack this confidence. Yes, that's what timid. So you cannot, and once they take for instance, they make a mistake, that's the end of it. They're not going to try again. Their shell and say, oh no, I don't want to, maybe for the sake of being ashamed, or you know,
disappoint my parents.
I don't want to disappoint even my friends. People will laugh at me. But all that are just, you see them as noises around you. That's what I always tell my children as well. That look, when you make a mistake, I'm prone to making mistakes. I'm not never claimed to be God. I serve God, so I can't, you know. So I must make a mistake. You understand? It's normal for everybody to make mistakes. So what you just do is get up. You can't dwell in that mistake.
Thank you. Listen, I want to come from this angle. The early morning, I was in the assembly and I was speaking to the kids in the primary. A little boy of 8 years, 6 months. She walked towards me and gave me her school bag. all the other kids, they started laughing. I saw a confident child. Now, ordinarily, there might be a scenario where you can say, go back. But we allowed him. Now, I want to ask a question. How do you balance encouraging a child? Because I know there are times children make mistakes, especially when they get to preteen, when to teenage age. There are words you use, they derobe them, their confidence. How do I balance, my teenage child, discipline him, and also encouraging him as well, and not lose it?
Well, it's guidance. It's about guiding them. It's also about giving them free hands, to do things. You can't all the time, micromanage them. Although there are some children like that hand holding is what they need. You have to hold them, all through the steps. You understand, till they get to where they want. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that too. But at the same time, you must give children, that space so that balance can come, so they can think and make decisions on their own.
I at the same time,
exactly, because the balance I am looking at, that you have to balance these things. You have a confident child, and these children have tendencies to go beyond boundaries. So if you give them an inch, they want to take the old ruler the next time they are coming. You give them liberty, they take the old stadium. So
even while you are correcting them, they ask questions.
Exactly.
That will throw you off balance.
They don't show that, yes, ma, I cannot. Do you know, they don't show that, oh, my mom said I should do this.
Definitely, they don't.
They don't show it. They come up at you like, oh, okay, so you said I should do this. You've still not told me why.
Truly, the environment also has a lot to do with, when you have children like that. The environment. And I tell you, not all children are like that, please. Not all children are like that. Not all children are like that. Definitely. Whether they find themselves in whatever environment they find themselves, not all children are like that. There's some children who find themselves in very humble backgrounds and yet are not humble. Right? Yeah. And there are some children who come from, very grandiose homes and are so humble. You won't even, associate them with that
so much
the kind of family background that they have. You understand? So children are different, and if we understand that, and then avoiding to compare children. You understand? Shouldn't, everybody is different in their own ways. You mustn't compare, you mustn't judge. That's another thing, because that's another thing with the Gen Z children. Gen Zs, you don't judge them at all. They would even tell you, don't judge me. Don't judge me, But the bottom line is, we need to, fit square peg in a square hole, round peg in a round hole. So, however it works, and again, our culture, norms, religion, they're different. And if we understand that okay, this is how it is done in this religion, this is how it's done in this culture, you understand, and this is how, like some people will say, oh, in Yorubas, they would greet, they would kneel down.
Definitely,
People will still greet, they will still greet, but the perhaps will not kneel the way, but they still show respect. Even in just speaking about the three major, tribes that we, see that we can group everybody into, although there are minority groups and all of that. All the 6 geopolitical zones, really. The truth is, we all have our ways of doing certain things. But if we understand that and not be too quick to judge people, and the way our children and the way they present themselves, I think would have a better.
I want to ask a question. Do you subject, you deal with special need kids? I want to ask a question. Do you advocate for mainstreaming them, or because I have seen parents bringing some special need kids, either social, physically challenged. Do you advocate us taking them in, or they should go to special school, or we mainstream them, No,
if there are lots of schools that are inclusive,
Yes.
And whatever the challenge, no matter the degree of the challenge, they have the tools to take care of and manage the students. There's nothing wrong with it. But where the school doesn't have it and doesn't have that expertise, you know, that's where my problem will be, because if you take that child to that school, then you're not going to get the best out of that child, you know. And not everybody is posed to that, you know, although we're saying everybody, let's be inclusive, everybody, but still, there won't, it won't work like that. And then let's just be realistic, you know. So there's full special needs schools, right? Just like there are full traditional regular schools, right? And then there's some special needs schools, you know, in regular schools, in government schools. You find that there are even private, the private sector who has, you know, schools and for special needs. So what I'm just trying to say now is, again, it's about not imposing, okay? But just making it available. You don't have to impose. When you know that there's something that has to be done, it has to be done, right? And every government, by the way, government, you and I, as a government. So if I have passion for it, I could set up a school, you know, a regular school, and say, okay, I also would like special needs, and put the things in place for special needs.
Okay, as we go on the program, we have just 1 minute. The time is so short to discuss this. When we are raising confident children, what should the parents do? What should they learn? Now, the world is gone past the era of too much discipline, too much beating, and also telling them what they should do without giving them the clear-cut instructions about it. Now, these children want to know why, how, and the reasons behind everything you are telling them to do. So for the parents, how should they equip themselves to deal with confident children?
Well, parents, first of all, model confidence. Yes. I don't know the level to which they can do this, because, you know, we parents, sometimes we're going through so much, and we don't want the children to know, and we just keep a straight face, and it's like, oh, everything is going on.
Everything is fine.
You know, everything is fine, you know. But if you have to do that to ensure the stability of your children, their mind, then you do it. You know, you just have to do it. But at the same time, it's not about lying, it's not about deceiving, you understand? But when you model confidence, you encourage independence, you allow the children understand that they need to be kind to themselves, they need to love themselves, you understand? And accept that, I mean, just be you, you know, and do you, you know, for children to know that. That's very important, because that will be the beginning of their confidence. So however they find themselves, in whatever way, you understand, they just see that this is me. Insofar as they're not causing any harm on anybody, you understand, you should, you know, encourage that as a parent.
Okay, thank you so much,
Thank you very much,
for coming on the program and talking about raising our children in a confident way, and also equipping ourselves as parents to be confident while we are trying to train them. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
Thank you. And I want to thank Happy New Year to you too. I want to thank my ladies to love her. Thank you for coming and giving your opinions.
Thank you,
and to Miss too. Thank you for your time on the program. And we want to thank our viewers who stood with us from 11 to about this time. It is time for us to go on the program, but we still have other programs on OGTV. Stay tuned with OGTV. We'll be back on Ladies Rendezvous next Monday, but it will be in another month, the second month in the year 2026. We hope you're getting ready for the bounty that we have in 2026. But before then, my name remains